Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel and to another map callout video. Today looking at Windward. This series is designed to give you all the key locations within certain maps and give you the callout names for them so you can help communicate with your teams more accurately to win more games. If you do go on to enjoy the video or just want to see daily educational road company content, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. But for now, let's get into it. As always, please do remember that these are the names that are most commonly heard within the competitive scene. From my experience, you may hear other names or you may have other names yourself that you want to use. Feel free, but just use this as a guide to know exactly which locations you want to have a name for. If you don't have a name for it yet, you can use my recommendation. Windward though is one of my favourite maps, although its callout locations can be a little bit different to some other maps. In maps such as Icarus or Canals, you have really big locations that have a full name for them. In Windward, you're looking more at like targeted little locations or landmarks rather than big chunks of area, and you'll kind of see that as we go throughout this guide. Firstly though, we have the A site and B site, the bomb site locations for this map, as you can see marked on the map here. Both these sites are actually quite large realistically and offer a lot of different bomb planting locations within them for different sides of the map that you can play around. You then have the attacker side spawn or attacker CT, which is located there at the top of the map. And then you have the defense spawn or the defense CT down low at the defender's side of the map. Now let's move on to the main locations that are really going to be key in helping you call out accurate locations for the enemy positions within Windward. You'll see there are actually quite a lot of them on this map, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about there not being large masses of area that you need to call out necessarily, as opposed to specific locations that enemies can be. And we'll start here with the A zip. Now this comes immediately from the attacker side spawn where they land in. They can go off the zip across and land on the A site over there just in front of cannons. This is a really key location that you can call out because it is the first sign you have that enemies may be hard pushing A, as they don't tend to go A zip unless they're intending to go A themselves. When you actually, from the defender's point of view, go up onto the A site and you sit here, you can see them about the same time that they get across that zip, so you can give that call out quite early to know exactly where they are. And that will take us on to one of the most highly contested areas on this map, and this is cannons, a key location for either attackers or defenders to get control of, and is most notably called this due to the two staircases that lead up to the balcony, where you'll see two sets of cannons aiming down into the waters below. Just beside that and in a similar location is the bar that enemies can also sit behind. This is a great position to control certain angles within this A site push. And then the last main location around the A site or the approach to A site is the tree located in the center of the approach to A. This is quite important to know because the cover there is quite good, so you want to be giving that accurate call out for your teammates if you do see an enemy set up in that position. Then as we start to transition to other areas of the map through to mid, you have the mid cut, which is the archway connecting the A site and the mid area. And then you have one of the best vantage points overlooking the mid area for the defender's side spawn, and these are the bins located at the top of the steps in the center, or also called trash cans if you're American. And then that overlooks into one of the largest areas of this guide, and that is going to be the whole mid area itself, which is the long straight very good for snipers and really great for spotting rotation routes from the attackers or defenders looking through this location. And then another good location connecting off of mid, overlooking the B approach and B site itself, is the market, most noticeably for this feature due to the big wagon cart that is in the center of it. You then have the long staircase that approaches from the defender's side spawn down onto the market, which is another access route for them. You'll see there's a lot of height built around this map, a lot of ramps, a lot of staircases, and that kind of makes it a little bit difficult for the attackers to push on because you're generally at a height deficit. And then transitioning further onto the B site itself is the B zip, another location that the attackers can drop off from spawn, go across this zip and be very, very close to the B sites. You do have to be careful either for defenders to make sure you're watching out for it, or for the attackers that you don't get naded as soon as you all come across that zip, which is one of my favorite locations to sit if I have an explosive on round one. You then have B alley, which is a small staircase alleyway that heads up towards the back of B site. And then finally, you have the upper platform, also sometimes referred to as the back of B, which is the small bit of height, the raised platform that looks over the majority of the B site. That's it for the main locations, and now there's not really any key small points of interest like normal, because so much of this site and so much of this map is built around very specific locations again, rather than those large areas like normal. So a lot of the points of interest have maybe been covered in those main locations, and you need to make sure you're learning those or at least having your own names for them to call them out effectively. The only other point is potentially worth looking at and having a name for is in the mid, The main building right here that I'm circling that sort of looks around it is known as the church. That might be useful if you need to use that as a specific callout at any point. Now that you have those main callout guys, I want to put it into a visual representation for you. So now you'll see some footage of me walking through the Windward map with different banners ahead to show you the transition between these different locations and exactly what they look like in game. Okay then guys, that takes us to the end of the video, and if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also come follow me on twitch.tv/RazDarGaming to see live gameplay commentaries, guides, Q&As, and playing with viewers. All the links you're going to need are down in the description below guys, but for now I hope you have a fantastic day, and remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next video.